by celebrating our dark, it empowers us. Contohnya penyembahan alam. Nusantara, orang-orang Nusantara dulu menyembah alam kan. Tengok orang-orang Nusantara dulu sakti. That means kalau kita minta daripada Maha yang memberi, that means adakah dia Maha memberi? So kita orang, yes, there's Illuminati, Freemason, but we don't give a fuck at all pasal benda tu.
Alright, Assalamualaikum everyone, it's your boy Alif again daripada Marjanstv. So, I'm here with BERDOSA. Channel aku, hari ini aku akan buat something different. Something yang aku rasa interesting. Sebab the moment bila aku tahu band ni, aku rasa macam, damn, something is not right. Something is not right with them, or something not right with the song, whatever it is. But I know something is not right when you see these people performing with colok. Okay, right? So aku nak tahu dengan lebih dalam. So video pada kali ini, it's not about aku nak tahu dorang ni buat benda salah ke, benda betul ke. No, I just want to let the industry know this is BERDOSA. Korang suka, korang tak suka, korang tulis kat komen kat bawah kenapa korang tak suka. Dan korang kena check out dia punya lyrics lagu. Memang spooky weh. Alright, with me kita ada, introduce yourself.
Okay, nama saya Afiq Iskandar. Saya merupakan seorang pengusaha, dan saya juga bermain gitar dan menyanyi untuk BERDOSA.
Hey guys, I'm Ravi and I play the drums.
Hello everyone, my name is Easy, short for Ezekiel. I play bass with this band called BERDOSA.
Right, BERDOSA, the moment bila aku dengar first time nama BERDOSA tu, satu je kepala otak aku, sinners, orang yang berdosa. Right? Dan aku tak pernah tanya Afiq ke Ravi ke Izzy ke, aku tak pernah tanya kenapa berdosa. And today aku nak share dengan korang, aku nak suruh orang share dekat korang why berdosa.
Okay, kenapa kita pilih BERDOSA? First of all, I would say it's a play on culture. Dari segi, okay, we all come from a school of rock music whereby whenever kita talk about rock, it's about being rebellious. It's about going against the norm, right? So in our culture, whenever we do something macam, oh benda tu jahat, okay, itu satu level. And then macam, weh, benda tu berdosa weh, that's another level kan. So we would like to assert that level lah dalam band-band kat Malaysia. Yes, ada banyak band-band jahat kat Malaysia, but dah 2020, so I guess Malaysia dah ready kot untuk band yang berdosa pula. You know.
Alright, yeah. Okay, understand.
So yeah, kita bawa music yang heavy, but I guess berat berdosa ni it's not just dekat heavy dari segi konteks lagu, but also macam yang Alif cakap tadi, like the music, the lyrics pun we bawa topik-topik yang boleh dikonsiderkan berat lah. Berat dari segi bila kita cakap dengan member, bila kita sembang topik ni macam, oi tu berat tu deep kan. Dosa lah. Ya lah, I mean where we come from ni, as the people yang buat lagu ni, we don't come from a place yang salah betul. Dosa pahala, in our book benda-benda tu tak ada lah. Benda-benda where we come from, there's no good or evil, good and evil. There's desirable and undesirable. That means benda yang kau nak and tak nak. But dosa apa semua tu is something that we don't discuss about lah. Yeah.
Understand. Cool.
So naturally it becomes dark when we put things in that context.
Alright. So BERDOSA ada album baru. Okay, they call BERDOA. Nampak tak guys? BERDOSA, BERDOA. So when the last time you guys berdoa? Alright. Diorang yang berdosa pun diorang berdoa. Okay, this is very interesting. Album before this is an EP ke with album?
It was an EP.
It was an EP.
Yeah.
Alright.
It was recorded at Ziess house. You want to talk about the EP?
The EP wasn't actually recorded at my house. It's about my house, I guess. It's about.
But most of it was written at your house.
Right. Yeah. We wrote the songs in my house. So The name behind Smells Like Tree Spirit,
Tree Spirit.
really comes from a story I was telling my bandmates. So my mom, she moved to this new house. We live in Sechawangsa, which is a place in KL. So she moved to this new house in Sechawangsa, which is on top of a hill. All right, massive place, and it hasn't been inhabited for the last 10 years or so. All right, so the rent is real cheap. So when my mom moved to this new place, she kept telling me like there was like some spirits that have been living in the house, like squatting in the house, So I asked my mom like, what's the deal? What are you gonna do? She's like, oh, we're gonna hire an exorcist to vacate the spirit. What's like the term?
Halau hantu.
Yeah, to get rid of the ghost. So one day I come to my mom's house and I see this chap throwing salt everywhere and green beans. I think initially when I was there, I asked my mom, I was like, why is this guy marinating the house? My mom's like, no, like we hired this guy, he's singing verse, like, Islamic verses, getting rid of the ghost. So I go up to the guy and I ask him, like, so you clearly have been able to communicate and commune with the spirit, why is the spirit disturbing, my family and causing all this ruckus? And he's like, oh, the spirit's been here for the last 10 years after the previous tenant moved out. No one was living here. So, I'm like, okay, so if the spirit's been here longer than my mom has been here, by squatters' right, doesn't the spirit have more right
to be there?
Aren't we, in some sense or a matter, trespassing on the spirit's land? And then, the Ustad was like, yeah, I know, but like, your mom hired me to get rid of the spirit. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever, so I tell
because you pay tax and you pay the rent.
Exactly.
So you're entitled.
The question, it begs like, if the spirits have been there longer than my mom has, or maybe even before my mom's been there, who are we to trespass over their land? We don't see the spirit coming to us and throwing salt at us when we're falling asleep and stuff like that, marinating us while we're doing our taxes or whatever it is we're doing at home, So I think that was a very good premise for us to build our 3 initial singles in that EP, which was Philosophers, Digimon Democracy, and Thundergun. Yeah.
And like the story yang Easy tu beradab tu was very interesting lah. I guess that's where the first idea kau dengar, like, I mean, Easy's obviously not from Malaysia. He grew up
I'm Malaysian.
He's Malaysian, but he's not. Were you born in Malaysia?
I was born in Malaysia, but then I left that when I was like 9-10 years old, I think.
Okay.
So he doesn't really, dia tak localize macam kita.
Yeah.
But those kind of things happening to have that perspective.
Yeah.
The way he approached it, why you marinating the house and all that. So I mean, that's,
kalau orang Melayu tengok benda tu macam okay, normal lah, halau hantu kan.
Right? But then also where we are right now, kita tak kata benda tu mengarut lah apa semua tak. But macam okay, it's possible. So I guess that's the reason why macam Izzy cakap, when we decided to go with that name is to embrace that side of things, instead of seeing it as something takut, something jahat, something evil. It's always been there.
I had this discussion with my mom, and I asked her, why can't we sit down with the spirit and actually discuss how we can divide the living arrangement? The house is fucking huge, so like, just take one attic space up there. We won't disturb you, and
you stay there quietly.
You stay there. Don't come down in the kitchen and move our peanut butter around or whatever it is. They were doing.
You have a story where the ghost stole your GoPro, right?
Yeah. So, my mom was convinced we had to capture like visual like references and prove that the spirit's there. So we put a bunch of GoPros around the house, and we set it to time-lapse mode, and then everyone fell asleep the next day. We woke up, so I went through all the GoPros, and my maid, who was our live-in helper, our maid was living in one of the rooms, and she told me like she felt some disturbances, so we checked that GoPro, and at around the time she said that there was something there. when you look at the frames in the GoPro, that one specific frame just went like white. There was like a
Flash.
There was a lot of distortion, a lot of like visual distortion. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird, you know. But we couldn't really figure out what it was. It's like one specific frame just went white, you know, out of all the other frames, you know, thousands and thousands of other frames. And then maybe like 3 days later, I went to check down the GoPros again because I wanted to show my friends and stuff. You know, I'm like, fuck, I could sell this on television or something. You know, like you go to Malay shows and.
And this is way before Paranormal Activities.
No, this is like 3 years ago.
Alright guys, very interesting. So EP diorang sebelum ni called The Philosopher. Smell like Three Spirit. Sorry, Smell like Three Spirit is berdasarkan kisah family Izzy punya rumah, The Three Spirit. Yeah, so korang nampak tak band macam mana? Dia buat lagu revolves on that kind of things. And the latest album mereka record secara live. Alright, it's a live recording session di mana diorang bertiga main sama-sama dan diorang record track tu. Kalau korang nak dengar lagu yang raw, yang jenis yang macam what do you call it, yang bukan studio version yang sedap, clean semua benda tu, no, this is not the album. But you find something yang really sincere, really raw, really doomy. So this is the one. Okay, so that is about Smell Like Three Spirit. Berdoa.
Okay, berdoa.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the recording process? The recording process, you know. Okay, so berdoa, kita cakap philosophically lah, what the album is all about is it's about penyatuan, it's about integration, it's about us going deeper within us and to realize that in the end, as we go deeper within us, we realize that we are more together, we are more alike, we have more reasons to feel similar to one another than different. That's like a layers. Macam contohnya, okay, I'm a Malay contohnya. As I go deeper, aku can discover Aceh. Go deeper, and then there's this one root that says that we are all semua sama.
Yeah.
Okay. But then this is interesting because this shows then your intelligence dari segi how deep kau pergi. To some people they go as deep as I'm Malay. Dah cukup.
Okay, ni tanah aku dah.
Dah habis. Some people they go Malay but then they have roots macam aku Aceh. Easy ada di sini, even semua ada. But then but the deeper we go, lagi dalam kita pergi, kita realize that semua orang is the same, we datang from the same source. So berdoa tu, at first we wanted to name the album We Are All God's Children. Hence why all the tangan berdoa tu is
tangan macam ni, ada tangan macam ni, ada tangan macam ni,
which is generally all the berdoa punya tangan lah. Which is actually
cara orang berdoa
meminta balik from the same source. No matter tangan macam mana yang kita buat pun, it's actually back from the same. We're referring to the all powerful, almighty, all satu tu kan. Tapi tangan berbeza. But then also berdoa tu juga question, whereby it's dalam semua tangan yang minta daripada all giver tu, dia all giving. That means maha memberi. Okay. So wajarkah kalau kita minta daripada maha memberi? Contohnya macam faham tak? That means kalau kita minta daripada maha yang memberi, that means adakah dia maha memberi? Faham tak? So that means kalau dia dah dia maha memberi, maknanya semua dah dibagi. Betul? Tapi datang tangan-tangan tu untuk minta lagi. So album ni is actually mempersoalkan budaya tu. Dia bukan mengkutuk, menghina. Kalau bias dalam the album lyrically sangat pedas, but then kan orang tak boleh nak marah tau, because in the end dia tak ada mangsa. Kita tak specifically cakap dia ni group ni bodoh, tak. All the kebodohan, kejahatan, all the evil yang ada, yang dimention dalam album Berdoa tu, ada kat semua orang, termasuk aku, Ravi, semua orang, politicians kita, imam kita, semua orang ada that side, which kita pun wish kita tak ada. So aku mengkutuk tu.
Faham?
So dia in the end aku tak kata agamawan semua fucked up, politician tak, dia tak ada. But then certain sikap yang ada dekat semua orang tu, termasuk aku, engkau semua ada, and that's what we are against. So the song is really about budaya tu lah.
Faham. Aku tengok video clip, lyric video, Crutches for the Week. Alright. First of all, Aku seorang manusia jenis aku tolak lirik dulu tau. Aku lirik datang kemudian. Sebab aku kurang berpuitis sikit, aku kurang sikit. Right, so aku put aside, I listen to the production, I listen to the guitar riff dan sebagainya. Tapi video clip intake aku tau. Kalau korang tengok The Crutches for the Week, it's all about activity agama-agama. Tetapi not the normal agama punya, the other side of agama. Kalau kau tengok dalam tu, Muslim banyak nak Syiahnya, yang kotak tak kepala pusing-pusing. Kalau yang Kristiannya, banyak yang bakar-bakar diri. So, you name it. Semua bukan yang the mainstream punya agama yang aku tengok. Semua yang the other side of the agama. So apa yang kau nak cuba bawa dalam lagu Crutches for the Week tu actually?
Okay, so
siapa buat lagu tu actually?
Kita orang buat sama-sama lah the song. Lyrics aku slowly tulis and then di-review oleh semua orang lah. Dia orang cakap ubah sini, ubah situ, apa semua. Macam the chorus, I remember discussing it dengan Ravi masa on the way driving to Johor. Easy pun aku banyak discuss lyrics jugalah. Philosophically, it comes from conversation kita orang actually. One of the things that I really appreciate about being in this band is of course the band members macam we are friends yang kita boleh cakap pasal benda-benda ni, and then we write about it, you know. So I think that's very natural and best lah to have that ecosystem. So Crutch for the Week ni is actually a song yang as above so below lah, I would say. As above so below meaning to say yes, to us, because we come from even Malaysia, you cakap about Malaysia religion lah, Hindu, Buddhist, Islam pun dah start, dah berapa lama dah kan, dah nak think berapa ratus tahun lah, 1400 dekat tanah Semenanjung ni, or kat Malaysia ni kan, dah start dah jadi Islam Melayu, like Malaysian Hindu,
version of
of religion, kita tak boleh deny. So apa yang kenapa kau kata kau rasa triggered, because dia bukan mainstream religion, dia bukan mainstream dekat sini, dia mainstream dekat budaya-budaya lain. So budaya-budaya lain tengok macam benda ni biasalah, apa pasal dia orang nak buat video apa yang dia, but to us dia rasa macam mengagumkan apa semua kan. But some of the footage are from here as well, and they are bukan mainstream juga kan. Contohnya macam dalam video the Kali worshipping, there was a Kali batu caves, lepas tu the cucuk perut, Kawadi tu, Taipusam, apa semua. You see, like to us Taipusam contohnya common to us, but to orang luar
Hindu yang dekat luar, benda tu tak normal. Benda tu bukan is a common thing, betul tak?
Mungkin.
True.
Like, I find it very interesting that you brought up, you pointed out the Sufi dances,
the Sufism,
and the Shia practice of self-inflicting pain. And you're probably wondering, like, is there any funny Sunni practices? The thing is, growing up in a Sunni Muslim country, it's hard for us to see what's weird for us. You know, for us to look at it inside, it's like, that's kind of weird. But you know, if BERDOSA probably started out playing in a Shia Muslim country, we'd probably have clips of Sunni Muslim doing really weird things. You know, like extremism and then stuff like that. You know, there's this joke I have with a friend of mine who's from Iran, who's a Shia, and one thing he doesn't really understand is like, why are you Sunnis so hell bent on making rigid laws and very very orthodox but unconventional forms of living, and he thinks that's the weird part about Sunni Islam. You know, when we look at Shia Islam, we're like, why are they inflicting pain onto themselves? Why are the Sufis spinning, and they're always questioning and philosophizing and whatnot? So it's all about, it's perspectives, really.
And BERDOSA ni dia create satu platform untuk kita celebrate benda tu. Kita raikan benda tu. Then takut-takut you know like benda tu sesat, benda tu
dalam
salah.
Dalam erti kata lain, instead of kita pandang benda tu pelik dan hina, it's better for us to embrace other religion, other practices.
Betul.
And dia tak kacau kita, dia jangan kacau dia.
Betul tu.
Itu yang korang maksudkan.
Beautiful. Yes, exactly. And like macam contohnya bagi aku kan, like okay, aku betul-betul terang kan, like macam okay, dalam band ni of course kita orang brothers lah, aku anggap like okay. So the more reason for me to understand where my brother culturally comes from. You faham tak? Like that's not a reason for me to tai pusam gelinya ni orang India.
Kenapa kau cocok tu? Kenapa?
Tak ada, no. Because of my sayang for my bandmates, for Ravi, for ni. Lagilah aku nak tahu kenapa. It's actually beautiful, sial. You know? And
there's a story behind it.
And everyone comes from God. Everyone is beautiful kot. Kan? So but then when we come, that's why when it comes to benda dalam, actually kan bila orang tanya buat berdoa, it's a very love album, I would say. It's a love album. Dia macam album Dewa semua yang talk about love, but it's not love towards a person nak roman, nak main, bukan. It's love for the people around us, yang macam kau cakap, tengok nak sedekah dekat dulu kan. So the love that we convey ni are the love to the people around us. Hence why we question benda-benda ni, because of our love for the people around us. Like we really love Malaysians, we really love the all the Chinese, the Indian, the Iban, every other religion yang ada kat Malaysia ni, we really love. So we sing against what separates us. We sing, kita menentang apa yang mempecah-pecahkan kita because of our love.
If you were to watch, Crutch for the Week, the video on YouTube, and there's going to be there are a lot of video scenes in that video that seem shocking, especially where you're piercing the body and self-inflicting pain onto yourself. But from another perspective, we never ask ourselves, like, what about circumcision? That shit's fucking hardcore, and we're doing it to ourselves, but no one looks at it and says, "Oh, that's weird," We go to Taipism and we just watch, we watch them carry, those really heavy objects and pierce themselves and think that's odd, But no one ever asks ourselves why, we're taking all our fucking foreskin off, and that's pretty hardcore as well. But perspectives aren't put like that because we've normalized certain things, but at the same time we also chose to look at other things and
very weirdly,
criticize it or look at it from a different angle.
So apa yang Easy cuba sampaikan is, kalau orang yang tak faham tu, is simple. Benda-benda yang kita rasa macam normal, benda-benda yang kita rasa macam tak normal, kenapa tai pusam cocok-cocok ni apa semua tak sakit ke, but at the same time benda yang normal macam sunat kita nampak biasa. Orang lain akan pandang kita macam, tak sakit ke sunat tu? It's very hardcore. And apa yang mereka cuba sampaikan adalah put aside the religion, and why can we find the same kata tengah to unite people and put aside everything that yang against kan, untuk kita buat benda tu. Untuk kita berjalan dalam atas dunia ni as a unit. As a human, yang kalau you nak cakap pasal the false messiah akan datang, the dajjal nak datang apa semua, but kita sendiri among us we are being pecah. Faham tak? Dan itulah yang aku tertarik dengan apa yang diorang cuba nak sampaikan, in spite of all the lyrical. Kejap kita akan pergi ke situ. Alright, so Ravi, my next question, why you guys decide on recording the album live?
Oh, why?
Yeah.
Okay, why we decided to record live, because it's basically just to capture the live energy, because we realized that when we play together on stage, it translates to we play the song better when we play together live, whereby if we do it track by track with the click and all that, it sounds cleaner, but you don't capture that energy, with the raw sound. So we did the BERDOA at Life Act, because we chose that place purely on getting good drum sound. Yeah, so you get that really
and
big.
the huge drum sound.
Yeah, you get that really big room drum sound. And we didn't process the drums so much in this record. We wanted to keep it as raw as possible to get that big sound. And same with the guitars and the bass and all that and the vocals. Just to keep it as raw as possible, but still have some production value to it. You know? So that took some time actually, close to about 3 to 4 months just to refine that. And I'm happy with how it came out. Yeah, you know, it's a good album, I feel. Yeah.
You know, when I listen to the album, it reminds me of you went to a gig, that small places, the club kind of gig, and you hear that kind of sound. You know, that not so great of a sound, but yeah, you there. You've been there and everything. So, for those yang tak faham ataupun tak tahu apa yang aku cuba sampaikan adalah, you guys try pergi dengar lagu-lagu diorang, and korang boleh rasa padam lampu, tutup mata, korang boleh rasa yang korang dekat situ. Alright, dia punya raw dia, macam what Ravi said, the rawness of the sound, everything memang captured. Kita sebagai audience berada dekat situ. Alright, thank you Ravi.
So lepas tu kalau ada rasa apa-apa berdiri kat sebelah pula masa tutup lampu dengan album kita orang, rasa bulu roma meremang macam tu, baca bismillah 21 kali, hembus kanan kiri.
Right. So Kenapa Afiq cakap macam tu lah? Kenapa dia cakap macam tu? Semua korang mesti wondering kenapa satu band kat Malaysia bercakap pasal metal, main doom metal, cakap pasal benda-benda macam ni. Kalau korang sedar, metal-metal yang kat luar sana yang kita dapat selama ni, band metal Melayu ni, band metal Melayu Malaysia, tapi bercerita pasal setan-setan yang kat luar.
Ya.
Tak ada orang cerita pasal setan kat Malaysia. Hantu-hantu kat Malaysia. You know, kenapa?
So sebab pertama sekali, sebab hantu-hantu kat Malaysia ni kebanyakannya politicians. So kalau cakap pasal dia orang nanti kena tangkap semua. So that's why dia orang tak nak ni lah kan. But so yalah, same thing lah. Macam kita orang, macam satu hari terfikir benda ni dah lama dah, macam even before we started writing Berdoa lagi kan, macam dengan Easy semua kami selalu discuss benda-benda tu lah, like metal bands kat Malaysia ni best nak mampus sebenarnya, banyak best. Tapi benda-benda yang dia nyanyi, macam adalah a few macam Sirkhanah semua nyanyi pasal Nusantara punya ni, okay lah, best.
Langsuwi.
Yes, those things inspire us. Benda-benda macam tu lah. Like lepas tu ada this certain group of bands yang macam, especially in the 90s when we were growing up, black metal semua kan. Pasal Lucifer, pasal Baphomet, pasal all this Aleister Crowley lah, pasal cult semua yang
semua yang setan-setan dekat sana.
Pasal Anton LaVey, Satanic Church apa semua. Aku macam, what's our equivalent to that kan? Because kan so kita started lah cari ni kan, apa yang dark, apa yang kalau aku bring up benda ni dekat benda-benda yang mainstream yang kau cakap tadi, orang macam tak baik kan. Kalau if we look back, our culture is benda-benda macam tu lah, pemujaan, penyembahan alam, which is something yang tok nenek moyang kita buat dulu-dulu. And sekarang ni dah macam lagi teruk daripada kau sembah Lucifer. Kau faham tak? Macam the perspective for a Malaysian is like, if you were to do, contohnya kalau someone kantoi aku dekat kubur Cina bawa telur-telur semua, benda tu lagi teruk daripada aku minum darah kambing, Lucifer and all that shit. You know, padahal benda ni is our dark,
our thing,
our dark kan. So benda tu lah, like but at the same time, reason why it's important, because apa tahu, aku believe kan that we all say that by celebrating our dark, it empowers us. Contohnya penyembahan alam. Nusantara, orang-orang Nusantara dulu menyembah alam kan. Tengok orang-orang Nusantara dulu sakti. Tapi sekarang ni kita di brainwash untuk takut dengan benda yang kita tak kenal. Benda-benda ni kita kenal. Ilmu-ilmu semua kita kenal. Kalau kita cakap pasal ilmu semua, orang cakap kesaktian. Nampak tak? It empowers us. But kau cakap pasal Lucifer, kau cakap pasal Baphomet semua, pasal Illuminati, pasal Freemason, dia create satu fear. Kenapa kita nak empower fear tu? Kenapa kita nak empower ketakutan tu, bagi kita lagi takut, lagi fear? Tak. Baik kita empower the dark, yang bagi kita empower, yang bagi kita Woi, satu masa dulu dekat dalam buku-buku Inggeris cakap, woi, ada orang kebal and all that contohnya. Benda tu takkan bagi memperkasakan Nusantara instead of bagi kita takut. So that's why kita orang, yes, there's Illuminati, Freemason, but we don't give a fuck at all pasal benda tu, because kita orang tak nak bagi power dekat fear tu, ketakutan.
Jangan
tu.
layan. Orang kata jangan layan fear tu.
Sama macam our views on politics. Politics, like why we don't sing about politics, but we don't want to give power at all to benda yang so useless. We would rather empower people, our listeners. We would rather give you the inspiration to daripada sing about Najib curi duit apa semua ni. Orang dah buat lah benda tu kan. So we sing about empowering, so that benda tu kita tolak tepi terus.
Faham? So aku suka apa kau bila cakap pasal empowering, kesaktian. Dulu orang dalam zaman-zaman dulu, nak tahu nenek kita cakap pasal dia you know, to be one with the nature and everything, untuk jaga kebal dan sebagainya, untuk dong berlawan dan sebagainya. Aku saja nak bagi soalan ni. That is before Islam comes in. So sekarang ni, kenapa kau nak puja benda lain bila ada Allah?